Hi everyone, today we're going to do a little bit of algebra review. We're going to review how to cross multiply, which is going to be a really handy tool for us in this upcoming unit. So cross multiplying is a method that we can use to help us solve equations that have two fractions or ratios, which is really just another way to name a fraction. So here in example 1, you could see that we have two fractions or ratios that are equal to each other. So we have x divided by 2 is equal to 10 divided by 4. So when you have a situation like this, we can cross multiply. The reason why they call it cross multiplying is you're actually going to multiply across the equal sign. So I'm going to actually make a little X mark going through, and that tells you which two numbers to multiply. So whenever I cross multiply, I'm always going to write it out completely. So the x and the 4 are going to be multiplied together. So I'm going to write it out like this: x times 4, and then the 10 and the 2 are going to be multiplied. So it equals 2 times 10. And I know that you could do this in your head, but I really recommend writing it out for every first step. So now let's simplify. X times 4 is just 4x. 2 times 10 is 20. And now we can solve. So we're going to divide both sides by 4. And we get x equals 5. All right, go ahead and pause the video and give this problem a try. Okay, let's check your work. So here we end up with 1 times 4x equals 3 times 8. So we get 4x equals 24, and if you divide both sides by 4, you should end up with x equals 6. All right, go ahead and pause the video and give this problem a try. Okay, let's check our work. So we should end up with 3 times 25 equals 5 times x. So if you simplify and solve, you end up with x equals 15. All right, now we're going to try one that's a little bit trickier. So whenever you have a ratio that has something that's being added or subtracted in the numerator or the denominator, you need to be very careful to group them together. So the first thing I'm going to do is actually put parentheses around my numerator. And now I can cross multiply. So it's going to look like this. 2 times x plus 2 equals 3 times 5. So the reason why we need to be very careful to do this is because we actually need to distribute. We need to multiply the 2 to the x and the 2. So remember, this is called distributing. So 2 times x is 2x, and 2 times 2 is 4. That should equal 15. Now I'm going to subtract 4 from both sides, and then divide both sides by 2. So here I end up with a fraction, which is okay. We get 11 over 2. Make sure that you can't simplify any further, and then you are all set. So once again, just be very careful to group any time you see addition or subtraction in your numerator or denominator, so you remember that you need to distribute your values. Okay, so go ahead and pause the video and give this problem a try, and be very careful with this value. All right, go ahead and check your work. So you should end up with negative 3 times 2x plus 1 equals 4 times 5. And here you do need to distribute negative 3 to 2x and 1, giving you negative 6x minus 3. So you're going to add 3 to both sides and divide both sides by negative 6. So your answer should be negative 23 over 6. Okay, let's try another example together. So here you actually see that we have addition and subtraction on both sides of our equal sign, but that's okay. So remember, we're always going to start by grouping, and then we can cross multiply. So we end up with 2 times x plus 1 equals 3 times x minus 3. So now we need to distribute on both sides. So 2 times x is 2x, 2 times 1 is 2, 3 times x is 3x, 3 times negative 3 is negative 9. So from here, since I have variables on both sides, I'm going to pick the smaller one and move it to the other side. I'm going to subtract 2x from both sides. So we get 2 equals 1x minus 9. And now add 9 to both sides. And we get x equals 11. All right, this is the last example. Go ahead and pause the video and give this one a try. Okay, so here you should end up with 5 times 3x plus 4 equals 3 times 2x. So you need to distribute the 5. 5 times 3 is 5 times 3x is 15x. 5 times 4 is 20. And then here we're just multiplying. 3 times 2x is 6x. So here you can see that I subtracted 6x from both sides, leaving a 0 on the right side of the equation, which is totally fine. Then I'm going to subtract 20 from both sides and then divide by 9. So I get x equals negative 20 over 9. All right, that is all for today. Thank you for watching.